The 2000s were a wild decade for horror. We saw the rise of J-horror remakes, the found footage boom, and some truly brutal new subgenres. It was tough, but I went back and picked my scariest movie to represent each year. So, let's get into it. "2000, American Psycho." We start the decade not with a monster, but with a sociopath. American Psycho is a brilliant horror satire that exposes the twisted mind of a wealthy investment banker. The true horror of this film lies in the constant psychological uncertainty. You're never quite sure if the gruesome acts are actually happening or if they're all just a figment of Patrick Bateman's violent imagination. The movie's clean, sterile, and hyper-obsessive 80s aesthetic creates this perfect unnerving contrast with the absolute chaos we see on screen. It's a film that leaves us all guessing, not just during the final scene, but long after the credits have rolled. "2001, The Others." In a year with a lot of noise, this film was a masterful quiet storm. The Others is a classic haunted house story that relies on atmosphere and psychological tension instead of cheap jump scares. The reason it's so beloved is its commitment to dread. Director Alejandro Amenabar crafts a world where every creak and whisper puts you on edge. The film's brilliant use of light, shadow, and sound creates a suffocating sense of isolation. And that twist? To die for. It's a testament to how smart storytelling can be terrifying, and the seance scene is a perfect example of that.
Oh, I shouldn't have done that.
It's the blood. There's something in the blood.
2002, 28 Days Later. This movie didn't just revive the zombie genre, it reinvented it. While other zombie films are often about surviving a siege or a single goal, 28 Days Later is fundamentally about humanity. It's a journey not just through a city of infected, but through the emotional devastation of its characters. We follow Jim, a man who wakes up to a world that's been utterly shattered, and his quest is not just to survive, but to find a reason to live. The film's raw, urgent aesthetic makes the terror feel visceral, but its true horror comes from the breakdown of society and the monstrous acts of other survivors. The infected are a constant threat, but the most terrifying moments are when our characters have to face the moral choices of a world with no rules. That focus on heart and human emotion is what truly sets this film apart and makes it one of the most impactful horror movies of its time. 2003, Dead End. While Hollywood was focused on remakes and gore, this movie was flying under the radar. Dead End is a brilliant, low-budget indie that takes a simple premise, a family taking a shortcut on Christmas Eve, and turns it into a surreal, looping nightmare. What makes it so great is its relentless, escalating sense of dread. The film's claustrophobic atmosphere, confined almost entirely to the interior of a car, plays on our fear of getting lost and slowly unravels into pure, inescapable cosmic horror. The ghostly hearse scenes are a perfect, unsettling example of this film's brilliant way of showing horror, and horror icon Lin Shaye from Insidious gives a fantastic performance as the family's mother. It's a movie that proves you don't need a big budget to be genuinely terrifying and clever. 2004, Darkness. While one film was busy inventing a new subgenre, this one was perfecting an old one. Darkness is a creepy and stylish haunted house film about a family that moves into a secluded home and discovers a terrifying secret about its past. The film's horror is built on a suffocating atmosphere and a brilliant use of light and shadow, which slowly drives the family members to the brink of madness. But it's the escalating, bizarre plot that truly makes it unsettling, with doppelgangers and a supernatural ritual leading to a final showdown during a total eclipse. It's my pick for this year because it's a terrifying reminder that some of the most effective horror is psychological and deeply unsettling. (2005) The Descent. This is claustrophobic terror at its absolute finest. The Descent perfectly blends the primal fear of tight spaces with terrifying creatures and relentless, gory action. The genius of this film is its slow, meticulous buildup. It focuses on character dynamics and emotional tension first, so when the creatures finally show up, you are already completely invested in the character's survival. This makes the violence and the scares feel earned and incredibly stressful. It's a masterclass in building and sustaining dread, and the night vision sequence where we first get a good look at the creatures is a truly unforgettable moment of pure terror. (2006) Silent Hill. In a year defined by remakes and J-horror, Silent Hill stands out as a masterful video game adaptation that works as a standalone horror film. While many may not agree with me, I have a soft spot for this movie since I grew up playing the games. The movie's horror is built on its terrifying and surreal atmosphere. It perfectly captures the unsettling feeling of the town, from the oppressive fog and ash to the shocking otherworld transformations. With incredible creature design and a constant sense of dread, the scene of Pyramid Head tearing skin is a truly shocking and memorable trip into a nightmarish landscape. (2007) Trick or Treat. In a decade of remakes and torture, this was a breath of fresh air. Trick or Treat is an instant Halloween classic that weaves together 4 terrifying stories in one night. It's beloved because of its perfect mix of humor and genuine horror, all tied together by a clever framing device and an adorable yet unsettling little mascot. It's a film that perfectly captures the spirit of Halloween, celebrating its folklore and rules, and the scene of Sam stabbing that old man is a perfect example of its dark wit. (2008) Mirrors. In a decade with so many new subgenres, Mirrors was a great return to classic supernatural horror. It takes a simple concept, that mirrors can be a doorway for evil, and turns it into a tense, terrifying, and surprisingly gory experience. The film's horror is built on a constant state of unease. Its unsettling atmosphere, created by eerie silence and the omnipresent threat of reflections, makes you feel like you're being watched at all times. This, combined with some genuinely shocking and imaginative moments of supernatural violence, like the famous jaw-ripping scene, proves that an old horror trope could still be used to create a fresh, gory, and creepy film. (2009) The Haunting in Connecticut. For the final pick of the decade, we have a return to the classic haunted house. The Haunting in Connecticut is a creepy and effective ghost story that is based on a famous, real haunting story. The film's horror is built on a suffocating atmosphere and a series of genuinely terrifying jump scares. But it's the unsettling visuals of the spirits of former patients and the way the haunting physically interacts with the house's electrical systems that makes the emotional weight of a family dealing with a real-life medical crisis feel all the more real and effective. What are your favorite horror movies from the decade? Let me know in the comments.